Good afternoon, Nani and Bobo. If you see right here, there's no Bobo today. He is on a hunting trip, and he had gotten together with a bunch of guys through a program called Sheepdog, where uh, they work with you to help you with your PTSD. And so they're doing civilians and first responders and veterans. And so Bobo, being a veteran, had gone to this program, and he met 11 guys that did the program with him, and the one decided that he wanted to do like a graduation party. And so they were going to do it at his ranch in Texas. So that's where Bobo is right now, and in the nice warm weather, and just I'm sure he's having a great time. I'm here in the freezing cold, and I just thought I'd like to throw a video out there by myself talking about, if you notice, I'm in my sweatshirt because it is freezing, but just kind of talking about what it's like to get a little bit older as a woman and what we're bombarded with. I've had that on my mind for quite a while, thinking, we're told, oh, age gracefully, don't worry about it, be yourself. And yet everything on social media is, well, you got to cover this up. You got to wear this makeup. You should wear these clothes. This makes you look frumpy. This, it on and on it goes. You shouldn't have long hair. You should have this kind of hair. I mean, I can't even keep up with it. And when I started to age, I kind of got caught up in it, thinking, oh, I need this makeup. And I was just talking to a friend today saying, I bought this makeup. You just had to have it. Well, it didn't work for me. It caked. It looked terrible. And I had to just resign that I can't always do all these recommendations. You have to find what works for you. And so that's kind of what I wanted to just say, is just be who you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. Quit listening to all the influencers, to everything they say, everything you should be doing. That's a bunch of nonsense. Aging gracefully is accepting where you're at. Now, I'm not telling you, let yourself go, don't do anything. That would be, of course, if you wanted to do that, that's up to you too, and that's very acceptable. We have to quit feeling bad about ourselves as women. And that's what I've gotten out of a lot of this social media is they're telling you, we're going to help you. We don't want you to feel bad. We want to accept but at the end of the day, you kind of walk away feeling bad. Oh, I couldn't do my makeup like that. Oh, I didn't have the money maybe to buy all that makeup, which in the end turns out to be a bunch of nonsense. You don't need all that stuff. We're constantly told, cover your gray, cover your wrinkles, cover the blemishes, cover. And I really thought about that, and I thought, how many videos are out there telling men what to cover up, what men should do? Why is it always the women? Why are we always kind of being made fit, that we feel bad about ourselves? That's ridiculous. And I don't understand that. And I've really started to rebel against that. I quit watching all of it. I started just figuring out what works for me, feeling comfortable in my own skin. I exercise not because I'm told, oh, you need to exercise. I mean, yes, we are told to exercise as we age so that we keep things moving and limber, and I understand all that. But I exercise because I enjoy it, not because I'm told you have to do this, this, and this. Get rid of the cortisol. Do this, do that. Drink this. It's gotten out of control. And like I said, I exercise for me. I feel good. I feel better. It's a stress reliever. Just a million reasons. And I've always loved exercising. It's something I thoroughly enjoy. So I don't do it because all the so-called experts are telling me to do it. And sorry, my hands are always going. That's the Italian in me. My husband, when we do it together, is holding my hands down. Well, he's not here to hold my hands down, so they're going. And that's just who I am. I don't know how to talk without my hands. And but I really started to think about that, is men aren't made to always feel bad. I mean, they'll say you need to lose weight or you need to do that. But there aren't a lot of videos out there telling men what to do. But boys, there are a ton. by other women that wear this because this makes you look older. Buy this. This will help you feel better. It is just an endless assault. And that I'm kind of over that. And I want to embrace the things that are simple. I don't know about anybody else, but I like simple. I don't like complicated. I don't want to be stressed about things. I want to be able to just live a very simplified life. And when we moved after being in our home for 36 years, our goal was to simplify. We got rid of a lot of stuff. We had already before that, a few years before that, started being more of a minimalist. Not that we were ever massive collectors or a lot of stuff, because that's just not me. I don't have that personality to collect. I don't like a lot of stuff around. I like everything very clean. Clean lines, everything has to be in order, no clutters. So I had already started doing that, but when we moved, we really purged. And we came here into a small condo, and we kept it simple. We didn't clutter it up the walls, and that's just who I am. And it's the same with how I'm approaching the, especially 70 and on, is more just a minimalist. I like to be able to throw my hair up in a ponytail, so I do tend to keep it longer because when I don't feel like fixing it, I just can throw it up and go. We hike a lot, so it's got to be simple. I want to protect my skin because that we know we have to protect it from the sun. So I try to wear simple things like a tinted moisturizing type of face makeup, so that it eliminates having a face makeup and the sunscreen. So I try to do both and all within one. And that has worked really well for me. I'm not a huge, as you can probably see from my videos, I'm not a huge eye makeup. A little bit of mascara, some blush, maybe get your eyebrows in order. But other than that, I just don't feel that need or want to. I don't want to have a complicated life. And to me, all of that makeup and all of those things all of this social influencing, to me, complicates my life. I got caught up with it. I'm going to admit to you, I got caught up with you. I thought I had to have certain makeup. I had to have certain eye stuff. I had to have cover the redness. I had to have special eyebrow, lipstick, moisture. And finally one day, I don't know, I just woke up, I said, I'm done. And I simplified. You have a moisturizer at night. I have a moisturizer in the morning. I do concealer under my eyes if I go out, and half the time I just throw on a little blush and I'm good to go. In the evenings, I do my tretinoin when I can handle it, because in the winter my skin is extremely dry, so I can't do it as much, and that's okay. So I just moisturize. Some eye cream, good to go, works wonders. I would say my skin is probably in better shape than it's ever been. I had very oily skin, I had a lot of breakouts, and I struggled with that. And I'm kind of enjoying not having oily, although it's very dry and I have to super moisturize, but that's okay. I was never a huge makeup person, so I never really did get caught up with that. But like I said, as you age, you start to think, well, I need to cover this. No, I'm not. I like when I heard somebody say the wrinkles are just a roadmap of your life, and that's the truth. My mother she never went in the sun a day in her life, and she had the most gorgeous skin. It was just milky, silky looking, beautiful skin. I did go in the sun. I was one of those sun worshipers during those 70s where we put the baby oil on and we laid out in the sun. And yes, I had a little bit of sun damage on my face. The tretinoin is helping that. And I had, it's this, I'm not saying resigning, giving up, but resigning that you can't fight aging. You can feel good about yourself. You can if you like to wear a lot of makeup, God bless you, do it. If you don't, that's okay. Don't feel bad about yourself. And I think that's what I wanted to say today is I'm tired of women feeling bad about ourselves. We're always, I don't know what it is, trying to dress for other women, dress for men. I don't know. I just know I woke up one day and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't want to feel bad about my choices. You know, life is extremely short, and I really would have loved to have learned a lot of this a long time ago. I didn't go gray as soon as I wanted to because I listened to the voices saying, what do you do? Like at 60, I said, I'm going to go gray. And for another year and a half, I didn't because everybody said, oh, I can't believe you're going to do that. And I listened, and I thought it was a big problem. I can't do this. And then finally I said, I'm done. I'm not going to keep dyeing my hair. And it was getting shorter and shorter lengths. It was going from, I started at in the beginning of dyeing your hair every, maybe 3 months. And then it just kept getting, and then finally at the end, I would walk out of the hairdressers and my temples would still be gray. And I thought, this is ridiculous. It's not even covering. And a week later, I had the line, and I thought, I'm done. And I was proud of myself. I didn't do anything to try to cover it up. Excuse me, my eyes water a lot in this weather. And I let it go. And I had the lines, and I just made the best of it, tied it back. And it took me almost 2 years to get it fully gray, but I was never happier. It was so much freedom to not be dyeing my hair and covering up something that was almost impossible to cover up anymore on top of it. Not only was it expensive, it was a lot of chemicals, and I had slowly been moving chemicals out of my life for years, and that was one of the last ones that was still I was doing and telling myself it was okay, it's not bad for you. But I believed it was. And for me, it was a choice that I made for my health, but I also made for freedom. And I never looked back. It took, like I said, it took a while, and I had the lines, and I didn't go in there and get it massively highlighted because I had brown hair, so it was dark. But it was okay. I was as good as could be. And I remember at my son's wedding, I had that line, and I said to the woman who was doing her hair, I said, just, tie it up. Do an updo, whatever they did. And it was okay. And she was like all over the faces and looking at me like I was crazy, and I didn't care. And that was the beginning of freedom for me. Because you spend a lot of years trying to please everybody else, but you're not pleasing yourself. So that was freedom, or the beginning of it. And I have been on that journey in many ways, not only physically, spiritually, emotionally. I had to let go of people in my life that were just weighing me down. That wasn't easy. But I have been on a journey of freedom. So this video is kind of all over the place, but it's basically freedom for women, listening to yourself, being thankful for what you've been blessed with, and not trying to be something you're not. I was just talking to a friend. We're talking about thinning hair. It's a fact. My hair's thinning. I got to learn to accept that, work with it, deal with it. As you can see, it's sticking up all over a bit. It's ornery. I've always had ornery hair, but I also learned part of it was because I didn't know the type of hair I had and how to work with it. But that's, here and there, I've covered everything. But I don't know why I started crying. I get really emotional when I think of women and just wanting so badly for them to love themselves, to care about themselves. Quit trying to be something you're not to please someone else. Never going to work. You are always going to be, first of all, can't measure up. And secondly, you can never be happy with yourself if you haven't accepted who you are. Loved, you're the beloved of God, and He loves you so much, and He created you just the way you are. So embrace that, friend. And thank you for listening to my ramblings. And I will be back with Bobo next time. Like I said, hope he's having a great time. And God bless you.